Hello, everybody. I hope you are all well. I hope you are happy, not sad. I hope you are mindful. I hope you are meditating because this is the key to your happiness is doing meditation. So let me say hello to our first participant, Kafai Lim from Singapore.
I'm from Malaysia, Kuala
From
Lumpur,
Malaysia.
Ajahn. How are you
Okay,
today?
good to see you.
Yeah, me too. Good to see you.
Is there any question
No,
today?
just want to share my progress on the meditation. Last week was mentioned about meditating when in emptiness. So I took your advice. I've maintained the emptiness with the emptiness itself, calmness. So I will be able to maintain for a longer time. And I'm glad I'll be able to do so with your advice. Thank you, Ajahn, for the teaching. They're very
Yes.
useful.
The goal is to calm your mind, to keep
Yes,
your mind still. So
yes.
whatever object
Mm,
that can make your mind calm, even emptiness is an object.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
So
use the same emptiness, and anything that arises, I just maintain, ignore it, and
yeah,
that actually keep me far more longer than I have ever been. Yeah.
that's
Thank you,
right.
Ajahn. Mm,
Your mind is something to hold on to, or else it
yes,
wants to keep thinking or keep
yes,
reacting to whatever comes up. So you
yes.
want to stop your mind from reacting.
Mm,
You want your mind to become still
yeah.
because true happiness arises from the mind becoming still. So
Yes,
try to keep your mind still as much as possible. Even when you're not meditating, you can still continue on practicing
mm,
by watching your thoughts and stop them when you don't have to use your thoughts by focusing on something that can stop your mind from thinking,
mm,
like a mantra or watch what you're doing, have your movement of your body. If you stay with it, then your mind cannot go think about other things.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
all
Thank you,
right,
Ajahn.
thank you. Next, Mudita, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Prajan. How are you?
Good. Any
Um,
question from you today?
not exactly a question. I just this day I have some work that I have to finish, so I feel like I put less effort into my Dhamma teaching because even though I'm not working, my mind will still think about work. So yeah, I just feel a bit like I'm lacking in my Dhamma practice these days. Yeah.
Just keep focusing on your body, on what you do. You're already practicing if you can control your mind, your thoughts. You don't have to be sitting all the time to be considered that you are practicing. You practice as soon as you are mindful. So be mindful and stop thinking
Okay.
unless you really have to think. If you don't have to think, then just stop thinking. Use a mantra or just keep watching what you do.
Right. Yes. I usually use Buddho, or sometimes I will recite the whole Itipiso mantra because sometimes I feel like Buddho is too short for me, so I do the whole Itipiso.
Yes, any way you want to do it, as long as you can stop your thoughts. That's the important thing, is to stop your thoughts. Okay,
Okay, ค่ะพระอาจารย์ thank you so much ค่ะ
all right. Next is Kenneth from Switzerland. Hi, Kenneth, how are you? Professor. I should call you Professor.
No, please don't. I should call you Professor.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Ajahn.
You got anything to say?
Yeah, I have a question on maybe Ajahn could explain a bit about the meaning of vimamsa.
Vimamsa.
Yeah, I think it's to do with
That's what it means,
thinking.
non-violent. Vimamsa. Don't hurt other people. Whatever you do, don't be violent. Vimamsa. I think it's part of me, metta, having loving kindness. Vimamsa. Is that, am I right? No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. I was thinking about avihingsa. I think I was thinking about avihingsa.
I'm talking about
Vimamsa is
Itipada.
okay.
Yeah.
Vimamsa is thinking or contemplation on the topic of your interest. Like if you have interest in Dhamma practice, then you just keep contemplating on investigating think about what you do, about your practice, whether you're doing it correctly or not, whether you should do more of it. This is called vimamsa. Concerning the thing that you are doing, like if you're a teacher, you think about your teaching. Am I teaching it right to my students? Do I need to apply something more or something? This is vimamsa, but it's specific in the sense of what you do and to advance you toward your goal. Like if you want to become enlightened, then your vimamsa will be concerning about, am I developing samadhi? Am I developing vipassana? Where am I now at this stage of my practice? This is vimamsa for someone whose goal is for enlightenment. If you're making money, you vimamsa, how much money I have now? What is my income? How should I get more income? So this is also vimamsa, just thinking to advance your movement to your objective, whatever you aim for. So you use vimamsa to investigate your practice, you're doing, whether you're doing correctly. Should you do more of it, or should you do less of it, or something? If it's not the right thing to do, then you should stop it, for instance. So more or less, this is vimamsa for Itipada.
Okay.
Why citta? Citta is concentration or focus. You only focus on on your goal, on the practice, on the working that will lead you to your objective. You will not focus on other things. Your mind will be solely focused on your work, what you have to do to reach your goal. You will not be sidetracked by other things if you have citta. Before you can have citta, you have to have chanta. Chanta is your interest, your inspiration. When you're inspired by something to do something, then you are in chanta. You will enjoy what you do. Chanta can be an enjoyment to do the things that you want to do to get you to where you want to go. Like enjoying studying if you want to graduate. This is chanta. Once you have enjoyment in what you do, then your virya comes very easily. Your exertion or your diligence, your energy to do what you need to do. You will be constantly doing what you want to do. And you will be focused only on this thing and not on other activity. This is citta. And your mind will only think about this thing, about what you do, how should you improve your practice in order to get forward. has to investigate what is keeping you behind. Is it your hindrances, for instance? Yeah. So this is vimamsa. But basically, you need to have chanta, first of all. You have to be inspired. You have to know what you want. Once you know what you want, and then you will enjoy doing what to get what you want. When you have enjoyment in working, doing things, then you can become diligent and focused and thinking only about what you have to do to get to your goal. Okay, so this is what a meditator needs to have, these 4 qualities, in order to advance them in their practice. You have to be inspired that by practicing meditation, by following the teaching of the Buddha, will lead them to the cessation of suffering, will lead them to enlightenment, freedom from all forms of mental suffering. Once you know that this is what you'll get from practicing, then you will enjoy doing it, because you know what you will get when you practice. And when you enjoy what you do, you'll find it easy to practice more and more. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Claudia Schweiner from Germany. How are you, Claudia? You have to unmute your microphone.
Good afternoon from Germany. I'm fine, and how are you?
Can you put your microphone closer to your mouth?
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, that better.
Yes, I'm fine, and how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay. Yes, and I have a question today. It's a language question. I like the Pali language, and I try to study the Pali language a little bit, but I don't find the translation in my Pali dictionary for the word sanya. And I'm confusing currently sanya with vijnana. So could you please explain me the difference between this Pali word sanya and vijnana?
Yes, both are namakandas. They are in the mind. They are the function of the mind. And sanya does the functioning of reckoning or remembering things. Like when you see something, you recognize or you remember. Like when you see a person, or you say, "Oh, this is a boy. This is a girl," or "This is John," or "This is Sally." This is sanya. Okay, memory.
Okay.
While vijnana is consciousness or awareness of the sensual objects. This is the connector that connects the mind to the sensual organs. See, the mind is separate from the body, and in order for it to use the body, it has to use this vijnana. There are 5 types of vijnana. Visual vijnana, audio vijnana, taste vijnana, smell vijnana, and touch vijnana. See, this is vijnana. It connects to the sensual organs, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. So that when the sensual objects contact the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, it sends this information to the mind, where it's being processed by sanya. Sanya take over once vijnana send the sensual objects to the mind. Like when you see a picture, when you hear a sound, it goes into the mind, and then sanya will take over, trying to figure out what is this picture or what is this sound. If it recognizes, then you say, "Oh yes, this is somebody I knew. This is some voice I heard before." But if it doesn't recognize, then it just go blank. It doesn't know what to do. It just gives you no information.
Okay.
Then what
Yeah.
follows once sanya does the work, what follow will be feeling or vedana.
Mhm.
See, when you recognize some good visual, you feel happy. When you recognize some bad visual, you feel sad and you feel unhappy. If you don't recognize or the visual you recognize is not good or bad, then you have neutral feeling arising. And then once you have feeling, then your sankhara comes into work. Sankhara is your thought, your decision maker. What am I supposed to do with these objects? You know, should I say hello or should I say goodbye, for instance?
Yeah.
This is sankhara. This is how the four namakanda, the functions of the mind, works for the mind. Needs these four functions for it to deal with the situation that it comes into contact with, namely the five sensual objects.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. This
Okay.
was very helpful. Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Is that all for you today? For now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Next, Forest Town from Massachusetts. I heard you are having a heavy snowstorm right now.
Hi, Tanajan. Yes, we're having a snowstorm, but it's gotten warmer, so it's melting and turning into rain.
Okay.
Not too bad.
How many inches of snow did you get
Well, right now it's mostly melted. Actually, there's nothing on the sidewalk.
before?
I don't know, a few
You
inches.
didn't know. Okay, good. But you cannot go outside or it's still cold.
It's not too cold.
Okay.
It was much colder. It was like 7 degrees Fahrenheit a few days ago, but now it's above freezing. So yeah.
Okay, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I have a question about what qualities need to ripen and mature in order for sotapanna to happen?
Well, first of all you have to have jhana. Your mind has to have equanimity to resist your defilement. And the defilement that the Sotapanna has to get rid of is his attachment to the body, attachment to life, attachment to health, attachment to vitality. You don't want to get old, you don't want to get sick, you don't want to die. So you need equanimity in order for the mind to resist this attachment. Yeah, because once you have equanimity and you start to investigate the nature of the body, you'll find that the body is impermanent. The body feelings are impermanent. They are anatta. You cannot force them to be what you want them to be. They're like the snowstorm that you have outside. So you just have to learn to accept this truth by letting go of your cravings, vipawa, tanha, the desire not to get old, get sick, or die. And accept that the body gonna have to die, gonna get old, gonna get sick. But it is anatta, it's not you. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's like the weather, the snowstorm. It doesn't belong to anybody. So if you can see this truth, and if you have the strength, the mental strength to stop your attachment or your desire for the body, let the body be naturally. If it's gonna get old, let it be. If it's gonna get sick, let it get sick. If it's gonna die, let it die. You mentally have no reaction toward these situations. But it doesn't mean that you cannot do anything. If you can still do something about it, like when you get sick, if you can go to the doctor, you can take medicine, you do take them. But worst case scenario, when it's not gonna be well, it's gonna be sick, then you just have to accept that fact and not get upset by it. The goal is not to be upset by whatever happens to your body. So this is what basically what a Sotapanna has to overcome.
And if I can ask one more short question, when someone becomes a Sotapanna, does the sense consciousness temporarily cease?
No, consciousness is just a function of the mind. It still feeds the mind with the sensual objects.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with being enlightened or not. It's just a function. It has it doesn't change its function. It keeps on functioning. Keeps sending the sensual objects toward the mind. And sanya is the one who changes. Its perception of things changes. From seeing things as being permanent to seeing it being impermanent. From seeing things as being a self as being no self. From seeing things as giving you happiness to see that it is giving you suffering. Everything. So this is what we want to reprogram the mind, reprogram sanya. Now sanya is fault. We look things in the wrong way, opposite of what it actually is. We see things as permanent, as bringing us happiness, as belonging to us. But in fact, nothing belongs to us. Nothing can give us permanent happiness. Nothing lasts. So this is what the vipassana is. The process of vipassana is to re-educate your sanya, reprogram your sanya.
I see. So the sanya changes, but the other four khandas don't
Well,
change.
when sanya changes, vijnana also changes. I mean, vedana also changes. Bad feeling will disappear. Because your sanya will not look at things that will make it creating any bad feeling. You will see that everything is just nature. Yeah. And sankhara will change. Instead of desiring for things, you stop desiring for it. But vijnana keeps feeding you the sensual objects. It's up to your sanya, your new sanya, to deal with the sensual objects.
I see. Okay. Thank you for explaining. It's very clear. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. Next, Sui and Czech from Vancouver. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, Tanajan. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Oh, good. The explanation to Claudia and Forrest. Wow.
All right. Anything from you?
I have a questions like for in the dependent originations about bhava and jati, like the existence and the birth. Like, it's a working of the mind, but does it work every moment, or physically I can see like the birth, but I don't see like every moment what is being born.
Bhava is becoming. You want to maintain this happiness. So when you enjoy your food, you have one power. When the enjoyment of the food disappears, then you have a new power. Maybe I should watch a movie. That's a new power. Becoming. So you keep becoming eater, becoming a watcher, becoming a listener, in order to make your mind happy with the sensual objects. So this is what becoming is. Because what you enjoy doesn't last forever. It lasts briefly. Once it's gone, then you want some more to make your mind have enjoyment again. So you always keep coming back to the sensual objects to feed your mind with enjoyment. So when the body breaks down, then you have to go get a new body. That's what you call birth. Jati comes after. If the body still exists, then there's no jati and there's no birth. You can keep using the old body to feed your mind with sensual objects to make you happy. But when your body dies, then you need to go get a new body. So you get a rebirth. So you can continue on doing what you used to do with your old body. Just like changing a new car. You keep driving your old car. Every day you have to go outside of the house to go shopping, to go to work, to go to school, or to go wherever you want to go. This is becoming. Every time you go out, doing something with your automobile is becoming. But when your automobile breaks down, if you can fix it, you fix it. Just like your body breaks down, gets sick. If you can fix it, you fix it. But eventually, when you can no longer fix your body or fix your automobile, then you just junk it, right?
Yeah.
And or replace with a new car. You buy a new car, trade in, get a trade in, get a better car. So too with your body, it's just like a car to your mind.
Oh, okay.
But if you can stop using the body, then you won't have to have rebirth. If you can stop your sensual desire, you don't know. If you don't have to feed your mind with sensual objects to make your mind happy, then you don't need the body. It's like if you don't need to travel, if you don't have to go outside of the house, then you don't need to have a car. If the old car breaks down, so what? It doesn't bother you because you don't need it anymore. So if you don't need sensual objects to make you happy, because you got rid of your sensual desire, sensual pleasure, desire, then you don't need to have a body because you have different other ways of making your mind happy. That's by meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ajahn, when you become, you haven't become fully enlightened, but you are first or second stage. How does this work, the bhava and jati works? Then? Like it's still coming, you will still come back, right? But
With a
less,
different, yeah. If you don't see, there are three levels of existence: sensual world, Brahma world, form world, and formless world. See? These are the three types of happiness that the mind seek for. For most of us, we seek sensual pleasures. So we are born in the sensual realm of existence, the realm of human and animals, and devas, and all the hungry ghosts. All these are they all need sensual objects to feed them, to make them happy. But if you practice meditation and you can have jhana, rupa jhana, then you don't have any, you don't use your sensual desire because you find a better type of happiness. That of practicing jhana, enter into jhana, rupa jhana. And if you have stronger mindfulness, you can even go higher or deeper in your meditation. We call the arupa jhana. So this is where the mind will seek happiness. For most people, they seek sensual objects for happiness. But for some people who have been lucky, may come across teachers who teach them meditation, and they learn how to meditate and get into jhanas. either Rupa or Rupa jhana, then they will reside in the different realm of existence. But these three realms of existence are all still impermanent. They don't last forever. So if you die, if you practice meditation and you can enter into a Rupa or Rupa jhana, when your body dies, your mind will still remain in the Rupa or Arupa realm of existence until the mindfulness loses the strength to keep the mind in jhana. So it will come down to the sensual world, and the sensual desire will come up. And then will cause this sensual desire will then cause the mind to go get a new body, a rebirth. And once you are born, you might first use sensual objects to feed your mind with enjoyment. But as you grow up, as your old tendency becomes strong, you might learn that you can also meditate. You can be happy without sensual objects. Because these three types of pleasure is not being eliminated completely by mindfulness. So they're still there inside your mind and they can come up. Sometimes sensual pleasure desire will come up. Sometimes the desire for peace of mind will come up. So it depends on which one comes up. Then it will drive you to go seek that type of happiness. So when you're born, when you live with your family who are sensual pleasure seekers, you probably do the same thing with them. But as you grow up or when you have time to be by yourself, you find that you can be happy without having to go seek sensual pleasure. Because you find that your mind can become calm and be happy by itself. This is due to your past ability to enter into jhana.
Okay.
So different.
Sorry, Ajahn.
Go ahead.
Our old habits actually come when we grow up, like the past.
It becomes stronger as you grow up because you become more independent. You can decide what to do. But when you're younger, when you're a baby or a small child, you're usually fed by your parents.
Yeah.
But then maybe sometime when something happens, they leave you alone for a while. If you know how to enter into jhana, your mind might enter into jhana by itself. And you don't feel lonely or any sadness. But if you had no jhanas before, when you're left alone, you might feel lonely and you start crying. But these three types of enjoyment, whether it's from sensual objects or from jhanas, they're not permanent. So they'll eventually cause you to reborn as a human again. Until you come across the teaching of the Buddha or you become a Buddha yourself. You discover that in order to not to return to this three realm of existence, you have to cut off your three cravings. Craving for sensual pleasure, this will cause you to reborn in the sensual world. Craving for being, this is like craving for Rupa jhana. And craving for not being, this is craving for Arupa jhana.
But sensual one is the strongest, Ajahn. Sensual pleasure is the strong. Would you say is the strongest?
They're the roughest one. They're coarsest type of happiness as compared to the Rupa jhana or Rupa jhana. They are more fine, more subtle, more better type of happiness.
Okay.
But if you don't want to come back to this three realm of system, you have to get rid of all these three types of cravings. Giving up your rupa jhana and arupa jhana, and keep resisting your desire. Because once you can get rid of your desire, your cravings, there's something better waiting for you. A mind that is free from dukkha is a mind that is that has gained supreme happiness, because there's no dukkha. So this you need vipassana. You need a Buddha to teach you that. Don't get attached to your sensual pleasure. Don't get attached to your rupa jhana. Don't get attached to your arupa jhana. Get rid of all your dependence on these three types of happiness, and you will be free from dukkha. And by being free from dukkha will enable you to reach the supreme happiness of nibbana.
But some people don't have arupa jhana, so they will never have to deal with the that, right? They don't have to deal with the attachment.
Rupa jhana or rupa jhana, they are much the same. The difference is the intensity of the happiness. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Philip Lim from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Hi, how are you?
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Ajahn?
Fine, thank you.
I hope everything is doing well.
Yeah, so far so good.
So far so good, yeah. Yes.
They have lifted the lockdown in the province now. Now people can go around, but they still have to keep practicing social distancing and wearing masks. But all the restaurants and entertainment, movie, all the shops are allowed to be open because we don't have any infection in the province. So I can give Dhamma talk again. So starting this Friday, I'll be giving Dhamma talk in the afternoon.
Would you still be giving the Thursday talks in English? I think it was 4 o'clock last time, right?
You mean the Q&A, live Q&A? Or?
Previously, you used to have a 4 o'clock Thailand time, right?
2 to 4.
2 to 4, yeah.
I give talks on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and on Buddhist Observance Day from 2 to 4 in Thai, live in front of my kuti.
Yes, yes.
So any question today or any comment?
Yes, this most of the questions. Most of the questions have been asked earlier by Forrest, Checkling, and things like that. I just got a slight question on the defilements, right? Is there an order where a meditator needs to abandon it, or is it just there is no order? I mean, that you just abandon your defilements.
Well, there are orders: Sotapanna, Sakidagami, Anagami, and Arahant. These are the orders of the defilement, the 10 fetters.
Okay, yes.
The 10 fetters are defilements, but they are more refined, more explained. Basically, we just speak about defilement in general terms like greed, hate, and delusion. But with the 10 fetters, they are more refined, they are more specific, let's put it that way. So you need to get rid of your attachment to the 5 khandhas. Your view that the 5 khandhas is you. We look at the body, we look at feelings, We look at thoughts as being us. We think, we feel, we eat with our body, we do things with our body. But it's not your body, it's not your feeling, it's not your thought. They are just natural phenomena or natural process. The body is the natural process made up from the 4 elements. It's a process, it's an ongoing process, your body. But since it changes very slightly every day, you don't see the difference. But it keeps changing from birth to death. This is the process of the body. While your feeling keep changing from good to bad to neutral, back and forth. Your thought keeps thinking about this and thinking about that. Sanya keep remembering about this and remembering about that. Vijnana keeps picking up the 5 sensual objects. And they're not the same at the same. With each moment, they keep changing. This is one, you have to look at them as natural process. Not you, you're not, there's no you, really. Where are you when you really break down the 5 khandhas? You cannot find yourself in any of the 5 khandhas. You cannot find yourself in the body. You cannot find yourself in feelings, in consciousness, in sanya, in sankhara. So you have to see them as being like the wind, the rain, the snow. They are natural process, natural phenomena that come and go, rise and cease. When you see this, then you can then leave the 5 khandhas alone and don't try to manage them, because when you try, when you fail, you have dukkha. If you don't try to manage them, you keep let them be, then you would have no dukkha. If it's gonna be well, let it be well. If it's gonna get sick, let it get sick. If it's gonna live, let it live. If it's gonna die, let it die. Then you have no dukkha, because you have any vipawa tanha, the craving for not getting old, getting sick, or die. For instance.
Ajahn, I got another question which regards to the practice. I've been increasing the practice of meditation, the frequency more often. Sometimes throughout the day or during maybe my late meditation, right? The mind just wants to get agitated, so it just becomes a bit slightly agitated, and there is slight chatter at the back there, and sometimes the chatter goes into like even Dhamma teaching that comes up. It just comes out. Like what you're teaching right now, it just comes up. It just repeats itself like a recorder. Like, this is not permanent and things like that. And going back to the meditation object, it sometimes could be a bit difficult. What should I do? Should I just get up and do some walking and go back to my sitting, or
yes, what? If you find that you can control your thoughts better by walking, then you get up and walk, because maybe your mind is restless and cannot remain still. So you get up and walk, but then you still try to force your mind to stick to your mantra, stick to training in mindfulness. Don't let your mind go think aimlessly, thinking independently. The mind wants to be independent, but you want to curb this independence. You want to take control of your mind, to stop your mind from thinking. Because when your mind stops thinking, it makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. Then you will not need to go look for other types of happiness. So you just have to keep forcing yourself to to stop thinking by diverting your thought, using your thought in other things like a mantra or chanting or watching what you do. Then your mind cannot go think about the past, think about the future, think about this or that, because you are engaged with with something that you are doing, using your mind, doing like chanting or reciting a mantra, or watching what you are doing, brushing your teeth, eating, washing your face, or whatever. And then when you feel you have strong enough mindfulness, then you can come back and sit again. Just keep doing this, keep until you feel you find no longer can sit, then you get up and do more mindfulness again. In this stage, you should forget about contemplation. You don't need it. It becomes a distraction to your progress in jhana. So you should not worry about contemplation yet at this stage. You had too much contemplation already, but your contemplation could not do you any good because you cannot let go of your attachment or your defilements. So you need to build up this equanimity in order to enable your mind to be able to let go of the attachment, let go of the cravings. So this is, I think this is a common mistake for most practitioners. They got confused about doing jhana and doing vipassana. Sometimes they get mixed up and they got sidetracked. When they try to get into jhana, halfway through, they might start thinking and they say, oh, I should then contemplate vipassana, investigating the five khandhas. So you keep sidetracked by your thoughts, by your misunderstanding of the purpose of your practice. The purpose of your practice, the first purpose is to get your mind to jhana. And then after you get your mind to jhana, then you will be able to then, after coming out of jhana, your mind will have the strength to resist your cravings when you contemplate and find out that the cause of your dukkha is your cravings. So I think for most practitioners, this is how they got sidetracked and never advanced. Regardless of how many years you practice, you keep running around in circle. You try to sit and meditate, and halfway through, your mind start to think, and then you start going to vipassana. So you never get to jhana. And without jhana, you cannot let go of your attachment. Even though you see that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, but you cannot let go, give them up. You still want them. So this is very hard to teach people because I've been talking this for years and years, and people still want to do vipassana. Because when people they hear Dhamma talk, or when teachers say, oh, you first have to calm your mind, then once your mind is calm, then you can develop vipassana. But they don't mean in the same session. Once your mind is calm, keep it calm for as long as possible, until after you withdraw from the state of calm and come back to normal situation, like coming out of meditation. And when your mind start to think, then you should direct your thought toward vipassana. Instead thinking of beauty, thinking of a sukha instead. But you do this outside of meditation, outside of jhana. You don't do it when you're in jhana, because you cannot. If you get into real jhana, you might stop thinking. You cannot use jhana to contemplate. If you contemplate while you meditate, then you're not getting into jhana. So this is the the trap or the pitfall for most beginners. They don't know which is which. They don't know what they're doing. Because they hear so much about vipassana, they hear so much, and then sometimes even been told that they can use vipassana alone to become enlightened without having to rely on samadhi. We call this vipassana by thinking, but not by realizing. Thinking and realizing is different. So my advice to you is go step by step. First, training in mindfulness. From the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, keep training your mind with mindfulness. Keep forcing it to stop thinking, stop wandering into the past or into the future. Keep it in the present. But this is hard for normal people. Because people normally have to think because they have to make a living, right? So this is more for monks to train mindfulness all day long without thinking about anything. You have to become a monk. Because with a monk, you don't have to think about making a living. Because making a living for a monk is a ritual. You just go walk into the village and you collect food. So you don't have to think about what am I going to eat today? Where am I going to get my food? You just walk into the village and you get you're given food. But as a lay person, you have to think, I have to work, I have to apply for work, I have to have a degree and so forth. So you use a lot of thinking to maintain your livelihood. So you have no chance of stopping thinking in your daily activity, except when when you go into a retreat. When you have a 10-day off or something, and then you take a 10-day retreat, then you can then train your mind mindfully first. And when you have enough strength to meditate, then you sit down and meditate. Sit until you can no longer sit. When your mindfulness has diminished, then you have to get up and walk and increase your mindfulness again. Until when you come back and sit the next time, you might be able to enter into jhana. So this is the first and second step, training in mindfulness to get the mind to jhana. And once you can get to jhana, then try to do it more often. Try to do it until you become proficient, until you can enter into jhana anytime. And very quickly, 5 minutes, close your eye, focus on your breath or on a mantra, and 5 minutes you're into jhana. If you can do this constantly, then when you come out of jhana, then you can start directing your mind to get rid of your fetters. The first object are your 5 khandhas. Your body, your feeling, their body and feeling that you have. The 4 nama khandhas, they come in a team led by your feeling. Your feeling is the most obvious one. So you just deal with your feelings as far as the Dhamma Khanda is concerned. And the body, you deal with it, seeing it just a combination of the 4 elements. And it's subjected to dissolution, subjected to aging, sickness, and death. Teach your mind to accept this truth and don't resist it when the truth appears. When you get old, when your head start to get bald, or your hair becomes white, let it be. Don't get excited. Don't worry. This is the way it's gonna be with your body. Look at the destination of your body. It's gonna become a corpse one day. That's the final destination of the body, becoming a corpse. This is what you have to teach your mind. This is what we call vipassana. So that we will not be afraid of this these truths when they come out. The feeling is the same way. The feeling keep changing. Good feeling, then bad feeling, neutral feeling. But the one that is causing us dukkha is usually the bad feeling, the painful feeling. So we have to learn how to deal with it, how to let it be, by teaching your mind to let go and let it, don't react to the pain, by using equanimity that you have achieved from jhana. Once you can let go of the feeling, you also let go of the sanya, sankhara, vijnana regarding the sensual objects, regarding the feeling that are generated by the body. I think I'm talking of this feeling, only physical feeling, not a physically based feeling. The feeling that based from your body, that comes from your body. Sometimes your body can generate good feeling, bad feeling, a neutral feeling. This is the feeling I'm talking about now. There's another one called a mental feeling. This is when you deal with the citta. The citta also generate good or bad or neutral feeling. So that's another level. The first level is the physically based feelings. Until you can live with the impermanence of the body and feeling of the body. This is part of the factor. The first factor is if you can let go of your five khandhas, seeing the five khandhas being anatta, no self, not under your control. So it's pointless to try to control the five khandhas because you're gonna fail. You're not gonna be able to do it. You cannot control your body to keep your body from getting old, getting sick or die, for instance. You cannot control your feeling to prevent it from creating any painful feelings. It will happen. So, but right now we normally, that's what we try to do, right? We try to control our body. We try to control our feeling. We want to keep the body healthy, strong, not get sick. We don't want to catch the virus. Thinking about the virus, just merely thinking about it, cause dukkha already. Because you're not sure whether you can control it or not. You can prevent it or not from getting sick from the virus. But when you look at it, vipassana, so what if you're going to get sick with the virus? If it's going to happen, let it happen. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. You just have to try your best, that's all. Try to protect yourself. But you're not going to lose sleep over it. That's the point. Not to worry about it. Not to get any anxiety about if you should catch it. You catch it. What can you do? Can you do? Take medicine and hope that it will cure itself. But if it doesn't, then death is the next step, right? The next destination. And it's gonna happen sooner or later. Not with this virus, it will be some other type of disease, some other type of illness anyway. This is what you contemplate on. This is what we call vipassana. To see the inevitability of the truth of the body and feeling. This is what's gonna happen. The body gonna get sick. It's gonna be painful. The body gonna get old. It's gonna die. So teach your mind to accept this and don't try to resist it when the time comes. So you have to test your ability, like sitting in meditation, and after you feel painful feeling from your body, you don't get up. This is the level of after you have jhana already. If you don't have jhana, it's very, very hard for you to remain face to face with the painful feeling of the body, because your desire, your defilement keep asking you to get up, move the body, get rid of the painful feeling. But if you want to take the test, then you leave the body alone, leave the feeling alone. Try to somehow teach your mind just to not react to the painful feeling. Either by vipassana, by both a combination of vipassana and equanimity. Vipassana means you cannot force the painful feeling to disappear. Equanimity teaches your mind to not react to the painful feeling. So when you have these two, you have equanimity, you have vipassana, then you can leave the painful feeling alone. Then dukkha that is being caused by your desire will disappear. And you find that your mind becomes peaceful and can coexist with the painful feeling of the body. Then you realize that you have now let go of the five khandhas. Part of it, that's concerning feeling, concerning painful feeling. The other half that you have to take the test is when the body facing dissolution or death. So you might have to find some kind of situation that might force you to come face to face with death, and then see how your mind will react to that situation. If you have vipassana, seeing the body is not you, you have equanimity, then just let it happen. If that should happen, let it happen. Like when you're on a plane and the plane start losing control and it start diving, and you test your mind whether you can let go of the body, let it crashes with the plane, or you start screaming and yelling, or what, or you remain calm and not reacting. So let it be. So this is the time for this body to decease. Let it be. If you can do this, then you have let go of the five khandha completely, both the painful feeling and death. And when you see that by using wisdom, and samadhi, which is the magga, that can get rid of your desire or your craving for the body to be permanent, to be under your control. When you see that you cannot do so, your mind let go of your desire to control the body. When you let go of your desire to control the body, your mind, the dukkha that is caused by your desire will disappear. Then you see the working of the Four Noble Truths. So you realize that the Four Noble Truths is real, and the one who discovered it was the Buddha. So you had no doubt in the Buddha. You had no doubt in his teaching, which he taught the Four Noble Truths. You see it within your heart, within your mind. And you have no doubt of the person who become enlightened, because you yourself have become enlightened. So there's no doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And you see that your suffering, your dukkha arises from your cravings, your defilements, and your bad karma. So anytime when you have dukkha, you look at these two causes. You don't have to go to do any ritual things to get rid of your bad feelings. Like people sometimes they're losing money and they feel bad, so they want to find somehow to alleviate this loss. So they might go to see a fortune teller or go to see somebody who might help them to stop this losing of the money. But with the Sotapanna, he sees that your dukkha arises from your desire not to lose the money. But when you see with wisdom that money is temporary, it comes and goes. Now it's time for it to go. So let it be, let it go. So you don't need to go to see someone to stop this losing of your money. You accept the truth that if you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose. but you stop your desire for not losing the money, and then you have no dukkha. So when you have no dukkha, you feel good, you feel happy, good. I lose money, so I don't have to. I can go become a monk instead. So these are the three fetters that you get rid of automatically once you have get rid of your wrong view of the five khandhas. Sakaya Titi, the wrong view. We have the view that the five khandha is atta, is permanent, is the tool to happiness. In fact, it's a path to suffering. To have the five khandha, it's better not to have the five khandhas. It's better not to have the body, because once you have the body, you have to feed the body, you have to protect the body, and this can cause you dukkha when you cannot do it. All right, this is the first stage. Then just follow the script. The next stage is to get rid of your sexual desire. A Sotapanna hasn't yet taken the test of the sexual desire. It hasn't yet deal with it, because you need to deal with it with the asubha. You have to look at the body that you have sexual desire for as being a corpse, or seeing the 32 parts of the body of the person that you are obsessed with, infatuated with sexual desire, in order to stop your sexual desire. And the bad feeling that comes with when you have the sexual desire, you feel bad, right? You're not happy, you're restless, you're agitated. So you have to release this bad feeling by having sex with someone. But if you use the supa, then you can stop the sexual desire. When the sexual desire is stopped, and the bad feeling associated with having the bad sexual desire will also disappear, and you feel normal. You feel not affected by not being able to have sex with anyone or be close with someone. Then you can live alone when you don't have no sexual desire. Okay, this is to do with the body. Once you have got rid of your sexual desire, got rid of your attachment to the body, then the body will have no problem anymore to solve. But you still have the mind that you still have to solve, because the mind is still have problem. Because once you no longer need to use the body to make you happy, then you rely on the mind to make you happy. You rely on the jhanas to make you happy. And when you're not in jhana, you feel not good. You will not be happy. So your happiness from jhana is not constant. It's not continuous. It depends on whether you can get into jhana or not. But you don't get into jhana all the time, because you have to deal with your body. You have to feed your body. You have to look after your body. So you see the difference between having jhana and not having jhana. Happiness comes with jhana. When there's no jhana, there's no happiness. So you see that this is a problem, and no one knows how to solve it except the Buddha. The Buddha said the way to solve it is not to rely on jhana for happiness. Just like not rely on having alcohol to make you happy, not relying on cigarettes to make you happy, not relying on your partner to make you happy. Just live alone, live without anything. If you have strong mindfulness and you see that everything that you rely on to make you happy is temporary, it's anicca, dukkha, anatta, and you will decide it's better to let them go, just to exist alone by yourself. Then you will get rid of everything. This is when you do this entirely inside your mind, because the body has no problem anymore. It's inside your mind that still keep seeking for happiness from the mind itself, from jhana, or from the emotion that comes and go, rise and cease. You have to see that they all are impermanent, anicca, dukkha, anatta. All right, you go by step because it's like studying. Each step gets harder as you move up the ladder. So you start with dana for charity, giving up your money, giving your money that you're gonna buy for pleasure, buy sensual objects to make you happy. Change the objects of spending your money to make you happy by spending it on charity. You get a better happiness than buying objects, buying things to make you happy. When you give to charity, your happiness seems deeper and lasts longer. Even when you look back after a month or two on the charity that you did, you could still feel good. But if you look back at the objects that you bought 2 months ago, instead of feeling good, you're feeling you want a new object, because the objects that you have is getting old, it's getting commonplace, doesn't attract you anymore, excite you anymore. So switch using your money. Instead of buying sensual pleasure, buy charity pleasure, pleasure arising from giving, dana. And then give up your bad karma. Stop killing, stop stealing, stop cheating, stop drinking alcohol or intoxicant. These are bad karma that cause your mind to have dukkha. Then once you can do this, then you can move up to meditation. Keep the 8 precepts. And these are step-by-step practice that you have to do. And your situation also changes. You become more and more less outgoing. You spend less time with socializing. You're spending more time being alone. You withdraw more from the world, let's put it that way. Withdraw into seclusion, to solitude, where you then will be able to advance in your meditation practice. So eventually you might find it better for you to live as a ordainee, like as a monk or as a machi, as a nun. Because then you'll be completely alone. You can be completely alone and concentrate on your practice. Okay, this is a long story. Then you go to the next person, Jason Ong. Hi, Jason, from Singapore or Malaysia?
From Malaysia, Ajahn. Good evening, Ajahn.
How are you?
Okay, thank you. And yourself?
Fine, thank you.
Actually, I don't have any question, just regarding a point of my practice yesterday. While I was meditating, I know you have been talking about seeing lights and colors, but yesterday was a very strange one. After in the middle, when my mind is just focusing on the breath, suddenly like somebody shouted, saying something shouted at me. I've taken this similar to the lights, but I never experienced it. Just ignore it and then just carry on with it.
Yes, just treat it as anicca, dukkha, anatta. They are phenomena.
Yeah.
Come and go. They are distractions, so don't pay attention to them.
It's just very strange. It's like just right in my face, it shouted. That's all.
It's like a flash of lightning. Yeah. Or thunder. They come and go.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn. That's all. I think I know what I'm going through. Just have to keep on pushing for it. But sometimes my body, I generate a bit of energy. I can see the bubbling electric current. I just keep on going back to my breath. I'm
right,
not
keep
noticing
focusing
that.
on your meditation object.
That's right. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. All right.
Sadhu,
Bye.
sadhu, sadhu.
How are you, Alvin? Alvin from Malaysia.
I'm good, Tanajan. How are you, Tanajan?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. I've got a question quite similar to Jason. This one, when I practiced a long time ago, I used to have this experience, but for a long time I haven't had it. But last week, I had this experience again while I'm meditating. I become calm, then suddenly I felt like I'm falling down. Like feel like the whole body feel very light and falling down. I suppose I just ignore this as well, right?
That's right.
Tanajan.
That's right. That for when your body becomes calm, sometimes you feel this sensation of falling from a high place.
Yes. Okay. Just ignore it and go back to the breath.
Yeah, just be aware and do not react to whatever happens. Go back to the breath if you can.
As soon as possible, right?
But sometimes when you become calm, maybe the breath will disappear and your mind becomes still. Then you don't need to go back to the breath. Once your mind becomes still, not something, just be merely knowing. Then you just be merely knowing.
Knowing that okay, yeah, that you are calm.
That you're calm and you're not thinking, you're not reacting. You have equanimity.
Okay, thank you, Tanajan.
All right. But if your mind still reacting, then you will need a mantra or something to keep it still.
Your mind reacting is including you feel
Thinking.
good. You feel good, right? The good feeling that arises in.
No, I mean by being active, by thinking. If your mind starts to think, then you should continue on focusing on your meditation object.
Okay, thanks, Tanajan.
Okay, Soling from London. Hi, how are you?
We're good. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you. Just listening. Thank you. No question.
Okay. B from Bangkok. Hi, B.
Hi, Tanajan. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good as well. Thank you.
Okay.
I think, Tanajan, you've answered many of the questions I prepared for today. So maybe I'll ask something a bit similar. It's regarding one of the fetters, attachment to rites and rituals.
Yes.
You mentioned previously that normally it would be eradicated along with doubt and sakayatiti.
Right. Because okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering, is there a way that we can meditate to, get rid of this attachment, or it would just go away with the 5 khandha, the 5 forms, and the misunderstanding of doubt and attachment to the body?
By just studying? Or?
Yes.
Well, to a level, but not completely. You can still have some doubt in your mind because you haven't really seen it clearly yet. But you might be able to eliminate partially, but not completely. You have to fully become enlightened to see the truth of the Four Noble Truths appearing in your mind in real time, not by just thinking about it in real time. You have to experience dukkha, and then you use your wisdom and your samadhi to deal with your dukkha by seeing that it's caused by your desire. Normally, we have this desire for things to be permanent, for things to be going well, to make us happy, and belonging to us, under our control. See, but when you look at the situation and you say, "Oh no, you cannot control this situation. It's not going well. It's not giving you happiness." So you see the anicca, dukkha, anatta of the things that causing that you are facing. Like maybe you're getting sick or you're facing death situation, for instance, and you know that this is the truth. It's anicca, dukkha, anatta. And in order for you not to be hurt by this, is to accept it, right? But to stop your desire for it to be permanent, for it to be good, for it to be long under your control. Yeah. Once you get rid of this desire, then the dukkha that causing you the misery will disappear. And you see, the cessation of dukkha appears. The third. So you see the Four Noble Truths working all together at the same time. And then when you have no cessation, you say, "Oh, I'm free from dukkha now. So I no longer have any dukkha with this body anymore, or this." So then you have no doubt in the Buddha or in his teaching, and the noble disciple who they are. They're the one who see the truth of the Buddha's teaching, like you. So this will get rid of your doubt, and you also understand that your bad feeling arises from your craving or your bad action, your bad karma. So when you have bad feeling, you're not feeling happy. You instead of going to see somebody to get rid of your bad feelings. Like sometimes you have bad feeling because your things don't go the way you expect it to be. So you don't know what to do. So you say, maybe I should go to see someone who can help me. So someone may be a fortune teller or whatever, and they'll tell you, oh, you should do something like kill some pigs or kill some ducks as a sacrifice to the god or somebody, which is causing you this calamity, whatever. But with someone who has seen the Four Noble Truths, he knows that it's his mind that's causing this unhappiness, this dukkha, because his mind wants things to go well, wants things to go according to what he wants. But when things don't go according to what he wants, and he feels bad, and he wants his good feeling to come back. So he go to someone who might be able to cause things to go according to what he wants it to be. But when you look at the truth, you see anatta. No one can control anything. If things gonna go bad, it's gonna go bad. So you would have no ritual. You would not go perform any rituals to get rid of all the bad things in your life. You just have to accept this is part of the package of being born. Life is both good and bad. It's two sides to the same coin. You cannot only have good things in life. You also have to have the bad things in life.
Yes. Thanajat, is it correct for me to try not to be too happy when I have a positive experience? I should try to be more equanimous. Is that right? Because the happier I am, the more suffering I'll have if it doesn't turn out that way. Is that correct? To think that way?
Right. The more enjoyment you have when you lose it, then the more feeling of sadness will be. It's not the happiness, it's your reaction to the happiness that you have to stop. Don't react to happiness. Don't be consumed by happiness, because you will be consumed by sadness when that happiness disappears. So you just have to keep a distance from happiness. You know you are happy, but tell yourself it's not going to last. So you become more prepared when the happiness disappears. And you say, see, I tell you it's going to disappear. Then you won't feel sad because you don't cling to that happiness. You let it come and go.
yes, it's actually quite difficult because our mind is delusion. So sometimes it will try to lead us to think that this happiness is worth clinging on to. But I realize that that's not true. Especially when I come out of meditation, I realize that being equanimous, ubekha is the best, because it's like two sides to a swing. If the more you go this way, the more you go that way. So it's
That's
good to
right.
be in the middle.
It's like a pendulum. The higher you swing, the higher it will swing back. If you put it in the middle, then there's no movement. There's equanimity, no movement. As far as your reaction towards happiness or sadness, let them come and go.
So just watch them as being Vedana, positive Vedana and negative Vedana.
Yeah, and they are anatta. You cannot force them to be one or the other. That's why you need equanimity to keep your mind not reacting to happiness or sadness. It's the reaction to happiness or sadness that's causing dukkha. Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yep, that's very clear. Thank you,
Okay,
Thanajan.
right. Let me go to Gok Seng. Hi, Gok Seng from Singapore.
Yes, Ajahn. Yeah, I'm from Singapore. Ajahn, I have a question today. That is regarding the 5 precepts for householders and the 8 precepts. And in the 5 precepts, the third one is actually to abstain from sexual misconduct. And then in the 8th precept, the 3rd precept is changed from abstain from sexual misconduct to completely abstaining from sexual activity. So as a householder who have wife and children, so I'm just thinking, why does the Buddha formulate such a difference from 5 precepts to the 8 precepts?
Because the 8 precepts stop you from engaging in sensual pleasure activity and encourage you to engage in meditation activity instead. So you keep the 8 precepts. So normally for a lay person, usually he or she might be able to do it once a week because they still quite engaged with the sensual pleasure activity. And for them to give up the sensual pleasure activity for a long time will be tormenting for them. But if you want to elevate your mind to a higher form of happiness, then you have to take the 8 precepts and learn how to meditate. So this is a path to progress by moving from 5 to 8 precepts, by switching from sensual activity to meditation activity instead. And for a beginner, you might be able to do it only briefly, maybe once a week. But as you advance, you might find that it's good you enjoy more from meditation practice. So you might want to increase your meditation activity to maybe 2 days a week, 3 days a week. You just keep adding on, because you can compare the 2 types of happiness. Yeah, the happiness from meditation is much better than the happiness from sensual pleasure. So eventually you might keep the 8 precept permanently and get a divorce or live separately if you cannot become a monk yet. Or maybe both of you, your wife and yourself, will keep both the 8 precept and abstain from having sex all together, and can still live together as a family. Instead of finding happiness from engaging in sexual activity, you find happiness from meditation instead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ajahn. Yeah.
Yes, but the goal is to move away from sensual pleasure toward meditation pleasure. And then from the meditation pleasure to completely get rid of all your desire for all types of pleasure. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Joseph Chi from Malaysia. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hi, Ajahn. I'm good. How are you? Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Ajahn, you've answered most of the questions today, and it's very interesting listening. Just for now, so I don't have any questions.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Next, Belinda. Hi, from Singapore. Belinda, how are you?
Ajahn, I'm well, thank you.
Any question today?
Yes, Ajahn, I have a question about following from last week. I think I mentioned about share merits, and sometimes we talk about sending metta. Like after a meditation or before a meditation, we send metta to the beings first. So, is there a difference? Sending metta and sharing merits.
They are similar, but they are different. With metta, there's no merits. Yeah. Merit is like food. Yeah. Metta is just good intention, goodwill. So you need first you have metta, then you have follow up with the merit. If you have metta towards someone, you want that someone to be happy. So what makes that person happy? If it's a spiritual being, it's a merit that you made from charity. So you do charity and then you dedicate your merit toward that spiritual being. They're not the same, but they more or less go together. First, you have to have metta. If you hate someone, you won't want to share merit with that person, would you? If somebody you hate dies, so long, goodbye, you're not going to send them any merit, right? So there's no metta. So when there's no metta, then there's no sharing of merit. It's only when you have metta, then you want to share merit. Okay?
And then there's a sutta called Kalanamitta Sutta where they talk about the Buddhas, and there was a group of monks who went to the forest, and then they have invaded, so-called taken the place of the devas, and they got disturbed, and then the Buddha advised them to chant the Kalanamitta Sutta and radiate metta with the surrounding. So like sometimes I find it very difficult to meditate or get the mind settled. Is it advisable to send a metta first before we start a meditation?
Well, you first have to know whether you are causing any problem with anybody or not. If you don't know, then you might not solve the problem correctly. Maybe you have problem with mindfulness, and then you sending metta might not solve the problem. Because when you cannot meditate, mostly it's usually because you don't have enough mindfulness. So you should spend more time training yourself in mindfulness more than trying to have metta toward whoever somebody you don't even see, the spiritual beings. So sometimes we take one case in the Tripitaka and we try to apply to all the cases, which is not the same. See, maybe that case deal with the spiritual beings, but your case might not deal with spiritual being. Your case might be dealing with the lack of mindfulness. So if you send metta, it won't do any good anyway, because you're not dealing with the cause of the problem, which is the lack of mindfulness. So you should come back and try to develop more mindfulness. Okay.
Ajahn, can I ask one more question?
Yeah. Okay.
When the mindfulness is weak, how do we? I think it could be the defilement, like tanha or craving or the unpleasantness. So there's tendency not to be wanting to escape from being unpleasant in the unpleasant state, like Ajahn said earlier. So what else can we do to enhance the mindfulness? Do we have to get to 8 precepts?
Well, to enhance is just to develop mindfulness by chanting a mantra or chanting, do some chanting. The precept are just the things to provide you with the time to do the mindfulness. If you engage in other activities, then you cannot train yourself in mindfulness. You have to free yourself from other activities. And by keeping the precept will prevent you from engaging yourself with other activities. Allow you to be alone. Then when you're alone, then you will be able to chant or to recite a mantra to increase your mindfulness. But you have to engage with people or things, then you will not be able to do this. Yes, so basically you need to have the 8 precept, but not just the 8 precept. Once you keep the 8 precept, the next thing is you have to be alone, not to engage with anybody. And then you can then have the time to recite the mantra or do the chanting. And then you can then sit and meditate and get what you want from meditation. All right, so you need to keep the 8 precept. Then you have to be alone. If you want to succeed in your meditation, you have to be alone. So by being alone, then you can develop mindfulness. Stop your mind from thinking about this or that. Because if you're with someone, you cannot help but engage with them. Think. When you engage, you have to think, you have to talk. See? Okay.
Ajahn, I find that to get to the jhana, we have to be in a retreat setting.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
Because you can set yourself in retreat at home. If you live alone, you can. You don't. But the problem is you don't have the discipline to force yourself to do the practice. So you need to go into a retreat so someone else can force you to do it. When you have to do it with other people, you feel compelled. You have to comply with other people. You cannot act differently from other people. But when you're alone, you try to spoil yourself, right? You say, oh, I can do it later. I'll do something else first. So you need self-discipline. If you have self-discipline, you don't need to go into a retreat. I never went to a retreat. I knew what I had to do, so I just forced myself to do it. That's all. Who else can force yourself better than yourself, right? If you rely on other people to force you, then you will always have to need somebody to force you. When there's nobody to force you, then you won't do it. But if you can force yourself to do it, then you will be able to do it all the time. So try to have self-discipline. Attahi atano nato, this is what it means. Yeah. You are your own refuge. You have to force yourself to do the practice. But if you are not weak, if you're weak, not strong enough, going to a retreat is also a good way. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it will be better if you don't need to have to rely on anybody or any retreat to make you practice. So try to train yourself with discipline. Try to set up schedule and stick to the schedule, whatever you want to do. All right? Okay. Next, Eileen. Hi, Eileen. From Singapore or Malaysia?
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm from Malaysia. I have no question today, just for listening.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ajahn.
All right. Alfredo from Brazil.
Oh,
Hi. How are you?
hi, Bert. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Fine.
Thanks.
Anything today?
Oh, it's good. My practice, it's good. But good explanation about the things. When you, I understand the things. When you know the knowing, for me, the knowing is a man, is in four jhana. But Buddha and the noble disciples, not in four jhana, and has the knowing too. Is possible a knowing without four jhana?
Well, you don't have to go into four jhana to have knowing. You can be outside of jhana to also have knowing. Once you have trained your mind to be merely knowing and not reacting with any thoughts. When there are no thoughts, then you will see the knowing clearly. But right now you are blocked, your knowing is blocked by your thoughts. You keep thinking about this and that. So you don't see the knowing. So you need to go into jhana to stop your thoughts. When your thought disappear, then you see the jhana, the knowing. Once you know the knowing, then when you come out of jhana, you try to bring the knowing out front by stopping thinking. Only think when you have to. That's what the Buddha and his disciples did afterwards. After he had jhana, when he come out of jhana, he tried to bring the knowing in front instead of the thinking.
But it's more easy to investigate the life without four jhana. It's more easy to understand. In jhana, is more to investigate our words, our countries, past lives, and other things. But the real life without jhana is more easy to investigate.
Yes, but it cannot stop your suffering, your dukkha.
Yes.
Like people in the world, they use thought to study things, study physics, study geography, study politics, and so forth. But this knowledge cannot stop their dukkha. Instead, increase more dukkha.
Yes, but it's very important to continue your practice. Né? You have a good life, a good perception of life is very important to continue your practice too. Né? It's not for jhana important to understand things. Né? It's important, but is a combination. Né? The thing is combination. The real.
It depends on what you want. See, if you want things in this world, then you have to understand them, and then get whatever you want from them. See. But if you find that things in this world cannot give you full satisfaction, then you have to look elsewhere.
Yes.
And Buddhism has an alternative way of looking at other things. There are other things that we don't see, that people normally don't see. That is the happiness of the mind. See? People generally see the happiness from things in this world. But the happiness in this world is delusional. It's elusive. It's not permanent.
Yes.
One day it's gonna end. And when that happiness ends, then sadness will come in place instead.
Yes.
This is what people don't see. People see that the happiness that they look for in this world will be long lasting and will last until they die. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. For most people, even if they're still there, but once the happiness that you have experienced at first will then become commonplace. No longer make you feel happy, even though the thing that makes you happy is still there.
Yes.
So if you're not happy with the things in this world, then you have to look elsewhere. And Buddhism points toward the mind, to look for happiness of mind instead. That's why we have to meditate, to get into this happiness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good.
All right.
Good.
Is it summer in Brazil? You're putting on your warm clothes now.
Oh yes, now it's very very hot. It's
Very hot,
good. Yes, very very good. I have asthma, né? Not good air break. I have it, and now I very good. My breath is very good now in
Good.
hot.
All right. So you like the summer more than the winter?
Yes, in winter I have very very. My breath is very difficult.
to breathe. Okay.
Yeah, yes, in winter I have to medicine cortisona. I don't know you know cortisona. Cortisona is very good. Is very good medicine, but it's very dangerous. But cortisona get you have sad with cortisona. You have pain. Not good. You have cortisona, but it's very important to we life good.
Yeah.
When I have said, I know that cortisona me said, medicine have me said, né? Not a very problem. See, it's a problem, but not a big problem. But I know that medicine is not good to me, but important to me have medicine too, because I breathe better.
Okay. All right. But what happens is you cannot get the medicine, then you're in trouble, right?
I try to not medicine, but it's very difficult. my breath is not very good, but I try. I meditate a lot, and when I meditate,
Try mindfulness. Try mindfulness. I think part of your problem is your reaction to the condition of your body that caused you to have this asthma problem. So if you can stop the reaction, if you can get jhana, then there will be no problem.
Yes, I try a lot. I try a lot. I love Dhamma, and I love practice.
Okay, good. All right, nice talking to you, Alfred. Okay, let me go to somebody else, okay?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Lisa Wu. Hi, Lisa. Where you from? Malaysia or Singapore?
Hi, good evening, Ajahn. I'm from Singapore.
No question from you.
Yes, I have a question on rites and ritual. Back in Buddha's time, he talks about not appropriate to kill animals to do for prayers. But in the modern context, rites and ritual, how do we apply? Is it like by going to the temple to light oil lamps or doing flowers, puja, that these are all superstitious? Or actually, how do we understand these rites and ritual for current context in the modern world?
Well, first of all, why do people do these activities? Because they expect to make them feel happy, right? They will expect things to go well for them. Their children's gonna be good children, their husband, good husband, and so forth. But this is not reality, right?
Correct. This is not reality, right? It is not helpful to our liberation, right?
Yes, but people sometimes don't know how to deal with the reality, so they rely on rituals to sort of make them feel happy or feel good or feel protected.
So as a meditator, if we understand this, we do actually could bypass this routine.
Right, because as meditator, we are teaching our mind to accept the reality of life. And life is
Okay.
both good and bad. There's always will be up and down. There will be
But-
birth and death.
But at the same time, there are really devas and spiritual beings around, and they need to be, I wouldn't say, they need to witness, or I don't know. I don't know how to understand that. Like, there are times that we do this is to for the devas to see or something. I don't understand this, because during Buddha's time, there's a lot of devas, the big, I mean those devas will come and talk to the Buddha, and they really exist. This is something that I try to reconcile. Okay, I agree that they do exist, but we can't see. But how do we want to do the puja part for these devas and spiritual beings?
Well, you don't need to do anything because you don't owe them anything. But you feel you owe them, then you want to do something for them.
Okay.
They cannot really do anything for you. I mean, as far as your mental development is concerned. But they might be able to help you with things physical.
Physical.
Well, if you need something, this deva might go into somebody's mind, tell them to come and help you, for instance. When people sleep, they go into their dreams and say, go and give dana, do this charity to this or that place. So when they get up, we call this a deva-inspired charity.
Okay, so such things do exist.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that if you are a good person, Deva wants to help you. And, this is one of the benefits from being a good person, for having metta, that you'll be loved by by the devas, and you will be protected by the devas.
But in return, we don't have to do any rites or ritual for them to do anything. There's no need to, like.
Just do good karma. Just do good karma.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't need any merit, because the devas they have lots of merits already. It's only the preta that needs merit.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you. That's all for today.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank
Let
you.
me say hello to Yana Damiko. Hi, Yana Damiko. Where are you from?
หลวงพ่อ Good evening วันดามิหลวงพ่อ
Yes.
หลวงพ่อ May หลวงพ่อ be well, happy and peaceful. หลวงพ่อ thank you for หลวงพ่อเมตตา หลวงพ่อ today I want to say หลวงพ่อ I'm from Indonesia. We received this book, Dhamma talk from English, translate to Indonesia. Anumodana, หลวงพ่อ
All right, you're welcome. Okay.
Today I want to ask หลวงพ่อ in remembrance 10 years ago of หลวงตา Mahabua Parinibbana, we have an intention to translate one book. The book name is Patipada, Venerable Acharya Man's Path of Practice by Acharya Mahabua Yannasangwararam. Please, Lumpur, advise how we can get the procedure for asking for permission for translate this book. Can Lumpur give the permission?
I think you have to contact Wat Pabantat. You have to contact the monastery where Lung Ta was the abbot. It's called Wat Pabantat. And the abbot will be the person who will give you the permission.
Lumpur can recommend that who the person I must look for in the Wat Pabantat.
Just write to Wat Pabantat and say, just write to address to the abbot, Wat Pabantat, Udon Thani, Thailand.
Okay, Luang Por. After we get the permission, can Luang Por give the forward for this book?
No, I don't have time. You don't need forward. The teaching itself is a forward in itself already. The
Okay,
icing of the
Luang Por.
cake is not important. It's the cake that you want, you know.
Luang Por, I have one question. Talking about sanya. Sanya, can we be a rice the sanya? A riser? A riser say or letting go? No. How to understanding this? Please, Luang Por, advice.
Sanya, what about it? What do you want to know about Sanya?
Can we to a riser, arise delete the sanya?
Your sound is very hard to hear. Can you maybe put the microphone closer to your mouth? Yeah.
Yes, Luang Por.
Okay, better. Repeat the question again.
I think it's right or not, or no. About sanya can be to delete in our mind.
Sanya can be what in your mind?
To be deleted. To be delete.
Deleted from your mind?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, Sanya it's anicca. See, sometimes you can forget. Sometimes you forget this is because Sanya is also anicca. Sometimes you forget something. This is anicca. But you cannot get rid of Sanya because you need Sanya to exist. If you have no Sanya, then maybe you have Alzheimer, right? You don't know anything. You don't know whether it's day or night where you are.
Okay, Luang Por, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Where are you from? Malaysia or Indonesia? Where are you from?
From Indonesia, Luang Por.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Sinyi and Monica Chen, hi.
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. Nice to see you.
Yes. Can I help you?
Tan Ajahn, the day when I was doing sitting meditation, I was reciting the Buddha, but after some time, the Buddha word actually keep on spacing out, and then it slowly disappear. And then I told myself, yeah, then I think just observe emptiness. But then after some time, there is some bodily pain that appears in the background. So I told myself, maybe I can just look into the pain. So my question today is that, should I actually start to look into the pain, or should I look into the mind, or back just to observe the emptiness?
I think you should stick with Buddha and nothing else.
Just Buddha.
Yeah, just Buddha. Because you're beginning to be sidetracked already. So you want to focus just on one object, on Buddha. If you stop, then you have to restart your Buddha again. Keep Buddha, and don't pay attention to any other thing. If you want to get into jhana.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. What about Sinyi? Any question from you?
Not at the moment, but that day after Tan Ajahn mentioned, so we did set up a schedule. But for weekdays, we still need to fine tune a bit. But for the weekends, like on Sunday, where we normally keep the 8 precept, I think it's quite productive lah. We were able to meditate more lah.
Good. Just try to push yourself to do more and more. You start from what you can do, and then increase it as you move along. Okay, increase to practice more and more. if you getting any result, then you see the benefit, then you want to do more practice anyway. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Anuraji from New Zealand. Hi, Anura.
Hi, Ajahn. Good evening. Yeah. Thank you for your guidance in to our practice. So it's good questions and good answers.
Must be late for you, 1 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock now.
Now it's about 4 o'clock.
4
So
o'clock in the morning.
Started 2 o'clock. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. It's good learning for every week, Ajahn. So one question, Ajahn. So is it correct to say that when you are in samadhi, our chitta or mind will be separated from body? And is it the same experience that we will face when we die?
Yes, so same experience. Same experience when you go to sleep also. When you go to sleep, the mind also temporarily is separated from your body, but without mindfulness. When in samadhi, you have mindfulness. You know, you being aware. You are aware that the mind is no longer connected to the body. So when you die, it depends on your mindfulness. But most people, if they don't have enough mindfulness, they will go falling into sleep. And they'll start dreaming until they get a new body. That's when they become awake again.
So that means when if we practice more samadhi, then it will be easier to face the death. Is it?
Yeah, it will be not as painful because your mind can become calm and have equanimity, not to react to the loss of your body. People will tend to be attached to the body, and then they'll have this craving to keep the body with them. And when they cannot do it, it will cause them a lot of dukkha. But if you can just keep the mind from reacting to the body, from attaching to the body, clinging to the body, and when there's separation, the mind can be in peace and calm and not affected by the death of the body.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Ajahn. Yeah.
But it doesn't, if you use your samadhi, it doesn't stop you from returning with a new body, because your craving is still the one that will keep pushing you to go look for a new body.
Yeah.
But with vipassana, you get rid of your cravings. And once there's no body, then there's no cravings to push you to go look for a new body. So that's when you're in nibbana. No rebirth. That's the difference. With samadhi, you still will have rebirth. But with vipassana, in conjunction with samadhi, then you will stop your cravings. Once there are no cravings left in your mind, and then there will be nothing to propel the mind to take birth in the three realms of existence. Okay?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Ajahn. Yeah. Thank you.
Next, Lillian and Panya. Hi, how are you? From Bangkok.
Yes, I have two questions. The first one is, do you have any advice? How do we start meditating with our kids? Because when they see us meditating, they are always quite excited, but they cannot stay still for too long. So
just meditate with them until they cannot. Then let them go to sleep or do something, and then you can then meditate on your own.
okay. So just teach them how to breathe in and breathe out.
Just breathe in, breathe out, or just recite Bhutto, Bhutto. If they cannot watch the breath, then just teach them to recite Bhutto, Bhutto mentally.
Okay. Anything? I have another question. I used to get headaches quite a lot, like quite bad ones as well. Like sometimes I'll just need to sleep the whole day. So we decided to go and see a doctor. and the doctor gave me a medicine that it kind of calms the mind down. So actually, after I took the medicine, right, I was actually able to meditate a lot better because my mind is calm. But I also know that to be attached to that medicine is also not a good thing. So, but it kind of changed my life, because normally I would get headache about 2 times at least per week. So after taking the medicine, it really improved my life a lot, and I don't get headaches as often. The headache is mostly stress induced, not enough sleep. It can be caused by a lot, just a very tiny thing, it can cause a headache. So should I not get attached to medicine, or?
Well, if you can use medicine to induce your meditation practice, you might need it to start with, but eventually you want to stop using it and then rely on your meditation practice alone to calm your mind.
Mm.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
If you have headache and you cannot meditate, and when you take the medicine, it stops the headache, and then you can meditate. If you are strong in meditation, maybe later you won't need the medicine. You might be able to meditate even when you have a headache.
Okay. So I should
Sure.
slowly try and phase it out then.
But you should not rely on medicine all the time, because what happens when you cannot rely on, when you don't have the medicine, then you will not be able to meditate.
Mm.
So there's a drawback with using medicine, because you can become attached to it, and you feel not confident when you don't take the medicine.
Yes, I do feel that.
So try to not use it when you can. Yeah.
Okay.
But when you find that it's impossible and you still want to meditate or go to sleep, then you just have to rely on the medicine.
Mm.
But you have to understand that this is not the cure.
Yep.
It can become a problem later on also because of addiction to the medicine.
Yep. That's true.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Is that all?
Okay, yep, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Leon Ki Boon. Hi, Leon. Where are you from?
Ajahn, I'm from Malaysia. Ajahn, nice to see you again, Ajahn. I don't know whether you can recognize me.
Yes, I think someone said you sent some money for charity, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, this morning someone said, that you sent some money for the school. I have received it this morning. Thank you.
Sadhu, Ajahn. There's no question. Ajahn been listening for the Ajahns.
Okay. When will you be able to come to Thailand?
Well, Ajahn, being a Chinese, Ajahn, I think I have my family, my wife, my children, and also my mother. They feel that I should stay in Malaysia more often, spending time with them. So I have to look for a monastery in Malaysia, maybe quite close to my house, maybe 2 hours. Look for a drive to this forest monastery, like P. Sumbat used to do in
Thailand.
That's right.
Yeah,
so I'm
okay.
looking for this kind of middle path, like win-win solution.
Yeah.
With mother, with my children, with my wife, and then maybe once a month I come back. So I'm looking for this kind of place, maybe 2 hours drive from my house.
Okay, good. I hope you find it.
Thank you, Ajahn. There's
All right.
no really question, Ajahn. Just one thing about spiritual power, Ajahn. Just now, there's one devotee asked about the moment of death. So, I mean, I practiced diligently about 5 years ago when I met Ajahn at Sala at Kausion. And ever since, I tried to put as much time as possible. And now I've retired. But my question is, when you have moment of death and when you feel some suffering and all that, so in terms of the faith and viriya or sati, because which one will be your kind of the most powerful element that can actually hold on to your faith to be still continue with Buddha, Ajahn?
Either mindfulness or wisdom. or panya. Panya is to be able to see that the body is not you. It's a natural phenomena that you are connected to temporarily. Now it's time for you to disconnect from the body. This is panya. If you cannot use panya yet, you rely on mindfulness, like calming your mind with a mantra or watching your breath to stop your mind from reacting to the disconnection from the body.
Okay. I listen to Ajahn Dhamma talk in Thai often. I'm very happy that it's going to come back again, and that helps me to contemplate a lot on the Dhamma. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me say hello to Yanasami from Lebanon. You're keeping the head precept at home?
Yes, Bante?
You shave your head. Are you keeping the head precept now? Or are you
Yeah,
a white rober?
I'm still keeping 8 precept.
Uh,
I decide the shave will go along nicely with the 8 precept.
Any reason why for shaving?
Yeah, I just it felt more clean, Bante, and just felt like it's the right time. Felt it will put me more in the monk mentality.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Any question today?
No, Bante, no question today.
All right. Keep practicing. Keep practicing, and don't worry about the future or the past. Just practice. Stay in the present, and this will solve a lot of problems. When you start to think about the past or the future, you might get agitated and restless.
Yes, Bante, I do have that kind of habits, mostly towards the past, and maybe also the future. But I find if I meditate 5 to 6 hours a day, then the mind naturally want to stay in the present moment.
That's right. And the mind will feel light and easy. Yeah. So keep meditating as much as possible. Okay?
Okay, Bante.
All right. Hello, ST. ST from Singapore.
Yeah. Hi, evening Ajahn. Just one question regarding the Jataka tales, that means the previous lives of Buddha. So
Yes.
just want to see your view, how relevant or useful is it for us today, especially when it to reach out to children? Is it still relevant?
I don't know. I didn't spend much time studying the Jataka myself. So it's maybe for somebody who hasn't yet not able to understand a lot of the Buddha's teaching. The stories might kind of explain to some of the Dhamma that the Buddha taught us to do, like Viriya, Dana, Sila, and so forth. Okay?
It's okay, thank you.
Okay. Sajal Kha from Maryland. Hi, Sajal.
Good evening, Thanajan. Thank you for your teaching, especially today. I have one question for you that what can you explain what is directed thought and evaluation when I'm trying to actually avoid thinking in the meditation process?
It's a different step of practice. If you do meditation, you want to stop thinking. If you think you only want to think in terms of what is you doing, right or wrong, good or bad, this sort of thinking in order to tweak your practice to make it more efficient, more productive. You can think in that manner. But you don't think this when you are meditating or developing mindfulness. Are you talking this about the vimamsa that we talked early on in the?
No, actually, I'm talking about the first jhana, and And there in the Tipitaka also it says like directed thought and evaluation in Buddha's words, but it is not explained. So I just went ahead and searched for it. Directed thought and evaluation that is in the attaining the first jhana is part of that. So I'm just wondering that if thought is stopped, then what is this directed thought?
Direct thought to your meditation objects. If you're watching your breath, then you are directing your thought at the breath and analyzing the breath, whether it comes in and goes out. That's
So the
all.
thought is actually directed towards the meditation object.
That's right. If you're Bhutto, you're reciting Bhutto, your thought is directed at Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Make you focus on just this and not on other thoughts. Just direct your thought to be at the breath, about the breath, or about your mantra, or what about your meditation object. Don't lose it, see? Because you don't want to send your thought to other objects. That's the point. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you're watching your breath, you are using direct thought and analyzing thought at your breath, about your breath. Then your mind can become absorbed in this breath, this activity. See? Then you will then become calmer and calmer, more becoming one, uniting, concentrated. Because the mind doesn't go think about other things. When your mind goes to think about other things, then it becomes distracted or become scattered. So you want to force it to come into one object only, which is your meditation object. So don't worry too much about it. Just worry about watching your breath. And know that your breath comes in and goes out. Coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Just know this. Then you will have directing thought and analyzing thought at the same time. Directed thought and analyzing thought. Is this clear enough? Then it will lead you to rapture, it will lead you to upekkha eventually. Okay?
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Lim Kim Heng. Hi, from Malaysia.
Yeah, good evening, Ajahn. Yeah, I'm from Malaysia. Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, just a quick question on meditation. I attended a few retreats and also online retreat recently on meditation. All the retreats, the meditation master will ask to alternate, walking meditation and sitting meditation. But for me, I find that when I do walking meditation, I can't really focus. So most of the time, I will just do a short walking meditation and then go back to sitting. Is it okay that I just do sitting meditation, or should I alternate?
It's up to you. Which is more beneficial to you? You use that particular method. If you find sitting more profitable, more beneficial, then you do more sitting. You might alternate with walking briefly just to relax your body. And then after you feel your body is relaxed, then you can go back and sit again. Some people are walking more than sitting. They find more beneficial for them. So they walk more than sit. So it depends on each individual practitioner. But when you go to a retreat, then you just have to follow the way they do it. If they tell you to walk, you have to walk with them. If they tell you to sit, you have to sit with them. If you find not good for you, then you don't go to that retreat. You do your own personal retreat. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
All right. Next, Mudita, Canada. Hi, Mudita. How are you?
Hi, Ajahn. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Anything?
Yeah, I last week you advised that I was attached to the body, and that resonated with me quite a bit. And since then, I've been able to do sitting meditation. So thank you for the suggestion. I have just two questions or two topics I'd like a bit of clarity on. You've talked about them already. One is about putting oneself in a difficult situation. I wonder if it was, say, example, fear, to what degree would one have to put themselves in a difficult situation or a fearful situation, or how often, or under which circumstances would that be a beneficial thing to do?
It depends on your ability to subject yourself to such conditions. So you have to know your strength, because you find that when your mind go through difficulties and come out good, then you feel that your mind is much more stronger. See? So this is one way of sort of pushing your mind ahead, moving you forward in your path of practice. Because when you're living under normal condition, you tend to be taking it easy. You're not pushing yourself. But when you are put under harsh condition or difficult condition, then you find that you have to adjust to the conditions. So you have to use more mindfulness and more wisdom. So we use this condition to propel our practice to go forward. So you have to find out how much you can do it at the point where you are now, how much difficulty you can put upon yourself in order to push your practice forward. Like sometimes you might want to try fasting, for instance. Fasting is making you under difficult condition, right? You become hungry, so it will force you to use your mindfulness to stop the hunger, because hunger comes from two points, one from the mind, one from the body. The hunger from the body is not as severe as the hunger from the mind. So when you have hunger from the mind, you can get rid of this by using mindfulness or wisdom. So then you are forced to develop that amount of mindfulness to be able to stop your mind from getting hungry, by stop it from thinking. See, when you stop the mind from thinking, and when the mind becomes calm, then the hunger from the mind will disappear. And then all that is left is the hunger of the body, which is minimal as compared to the hunger of the mind. When your mind becomes calm, then you find that the hunger of the body you can endure, you can deal with easily. It's normally the hunger of the mind that causes us to suffer. You know? And we have no tool because we didn't use mindfulness. So if you want to raise the mindfulness up to the level of hunger, then you will be able then to cope with hunger later on in life. So this is
hunger.
Hunger
like
for
mental
food.
hunger for food. Okay.
Hunger for food, things like overeating, for instance. Sometimes you eat more than you should, and you cannot stop, because it's not the body that is hungry; it's the mind that is hungry. But if you can learn how to fast and develop the mindfulness to the level where you can stop the hunger of the mind, then you can control your diet very easily. This is just an example.
Okay.
In order to advance your practice, you have to have more difficult conditions around you, because it will force you to develop more mindfulness and wisdom. Force you to develop more samadhi. You cannot just take things lightly, because your mind starts craving for things, and you have to stop it by mindfulness and samadhi or wisdom. If you know how to use wisdom concerning food, you have to think of food in a negative sense. Don't think of food when it's on the plate. Think of food when it enters your mouth or in your stomach, and see the appearance of food. Then it can stop your mind from being hungry for food. This is vipassana. So this is what you want to do, so that you want to train your mind to be able to accept all sort of conditions that might be put upon you later on in your life. Right now we are surrounded by comfort and good conditions, but eventually we have to be surrounded by bad conditions, like the body gets sick, the body gets old, for instance, more pain, more physical pain, and so forth. So how are you going to deal with it? If you don't train your mind to do it now, when you have to face it, you will not be able to do it, and then you will have just a lot of suffering, a lot of mental suffering. So to answer your question, you just have to try the type of difficult condition that you can handle, that you can deal with by using your meditation, your mindfulness. Try to fast for 1 day. Like keeping the 8 precept is already pushing one level up. You normally eat 3 meals a day, so now you stop one meal and eat just 2 meals, and no food after midday. See, and after midday you feel miserable because your mind still keep hungering for food. And in order to make your mind not miserable, you have to meditate.
Yeah, I started keeping the 8 about a month ago, and I have more time to meditate, and I have more mental clarity, more energy.
That's
and
right.
It's been helpful.
That's the purpose of keeping the 8 precepts, to allow you to have the time to meditate. If not, you will be engaging in other type of activities, like eating, socializing, watching movies, or whatever. So you won't have you cannot find the time to meditate.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah, a little bit of clarity on one other thing. I wonder about how much energy to put into worldly relationships, and if my goal being nibbana, would the energy or the effort put into worldly relationships only be for the sake of the requisites?
That's right, if you can, and try to relinquish everything else.
Okay.
Because they are like hindrances. They are like something that will tie you and not allow you to go to nibbana if you spend more time with them.
Okay.
Yeah, just spend only the time for the 4 requisites of life, and everything else you should dump them. I mean, you should forget about it. Spend your time more on meditation better.
Okay.
Okay, but this depends on your situation. If you're living with other people, then you might not be able to do this, because you have to have time spent with them.
Yeah.
But if you're alone, then you don't have to spend time with other people.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Next.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Next, Agus W. Where are you from?
Bante, I'm from Indonesia, Bante.
Okay. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, regarding the that moment, Bante, in case we have the good mind by the time, what is the best object by the time? Just observing the breathing in and out, or reciting Buddho Buddho, or what subject for our mind is the best to face the death at the last, at the that moment?
Ultimately, just to be aware, just not reacting to death. Just let it happen. Just watching it like watching a movie. Just like watching somebody die, because the body is not you.
So observing is the breathing in and out is good, Bante.
Yes, if you cannot watch your you can watch your breath, and when you no longer breathing, and then you know that the body has come to a cessation, has died.
So the most important is not to has other thought than
Yes, have no other thought or feelings toward the situation. Just stay calm and let the body stop breathing by itself. Just keep watching the breath.
And there is no preference. Which one is better, reciting Buddha or observing the breath?
This is up to the person yourself. Which one you find more useful for you. You can choose the method. You can use Buddha. You can use watching the breath. You can use wisdom, telling you that this is the way things gonna be. This is how it's gonna happen. So let it happen.
Okay, thank you, Bante.
All right. Next, I think Kuyon Dong. Hi, from London.
I have no questions today, but listening to Thanachan's Q&A on the 30th, when there was a person asking for your blessing on their marriage the next day.
Yes.
And I like your answer so much. And I was just wondering whether I can ask for your blessing for not getting married in my next life.
Well, you can ask, but whether you get it or not it depends on yourself. See, it's not depend on other people.
Yes.
Okay. If you don't want to get married in your next life, you have to see that marriage is suffering. See, because marriage is uncertain. You don't know whether it's gonna turn out good or bad. And even when it first turn out good, it might turn out to be bad later on also. So you have to look at marriage as look at marriage as anicca dukkha anatta. Then you will not get married again. Okay. Okay. Hi, Gek Yen So from Gek Yen from Penang. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Ajahn. I'm listening and there's no questions today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Gavin, you're next. Gavin from Washington State.
Hello, Ajahn.
Hi.
Just a quick question. So when we start practicing to develop panya, it starts off as sankhara and thinking, but then it migrates to the heart later. Is that kind of correct?
No, well, sankhara is also in the heart already, but you use sankhara to teach your mind the truth, the truth that we don't want to see. We don't want to see impermanent. So we have to keep imposed on the mind of the fact that everything in this world is impermanent. So this is teaching the mind with sankhara. Sankhara that the Buddha taught us to think. The Buddha teaches us to think of things in terms of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Until you don't forget. See, when you don't forget, then it stays in the mind. But when you first study or when you first develop it, you tend to forget. Once you stop thinking about anicca, dukkha, anatta, you go back to the old perception again. You go see things as opposite of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay. I don't see you where you are. Okay.
Still, okay. I guess my question.
So don't worry about where it's gonna be. The goal is to keep teaching your mind until you don't forget the truth of anicca, dukkha, anatta, and the truth of the Four Noble Truths. This is all you want to have it in place in your mind all the time.
Okay. When there's true realization, is there like a happiness that follows that?
Yes, it has to go through suffering first. First, you have to have suffering, and then you discover that your suffering is caused by your own desire. And once you can get rid of your desire, then the suffering will disappear. Then happiness will take place instead.
Okay.
So you have to go to dukkha in order to get to sukha, to real sukha, from happiness, from suffering to happiness or bliss. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Next, I think is Dasko Cynic. Hello, how are you? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm good. I'm from Sweden.
Sweden, okay.
Yeah, so nice to meet you.
Yeah, happy to see you too. What can I do for you?
I've actually been wanting to just join in on the session. I've tried to participate many times, but I hadn't had the time that much. But I'm serving at the Goenka Vipassana Center at the moment. So I'm learning a lot about all these things, and I don't really have a question today, but I just wanted to join in and hear a little bit about everyone's questions and see how it's going.
Okay, good. Well, nice to see you. Nice talking to you.
Nice to see you too.
Okay, keep listening. We'll have more questions coming up.
Thank you.
Okay, Emily, you're next. Emily from Washington, D.C.
Hi, Ajahn. How are you?
I heard you are in the middle of a snowstorm right now. Huh?
Yes, this is a better storm than the Capitol protest storm.
I see. Okay.
I would prefer weather over violence. I think it's a little easier to handle. I guess I don't have any questions today. I'm still practicing. I got through the distraction of things happening here. Things have calmed down a lot, and so it's easier for me to focus inward. And I am trying not to miss days for practice, and hope, now that my job is picking up, I want to make sure that I still give myself plenty of time to meditate and to work on my mindfulness.
Okay, just treat everything like the weather. Weather is because it's something that you have to learn to live with it because you cannot control them. Okay, good.
Thank
nice
you,
to
Ajahn.
see you. How is Matt? Is he around?
He's working at
he's
the
working
moment.
today. I see. Okay.
I let him know to come out, but he's in a call right now.
Right.
It is 10:37 in the morning Eastern time. So he's
Fine.
we just started. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Nice talking to you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. I think everybody has a chance to ask questions. I think now is the time for question from Facebook page. Any question, Kunla?
Yes, there are 11 questions.
Okay, please
And
go ahead.
first question from Ui Po Hua. Good evening, Ajahn. Greetings from Penang, Malaysia. I love music. May I ask, can I sit and meditate while concentrating on listening? Thank you so much.
If you want to listen, it's better to listen to Dhamma talks than music, because Dhamma talk will give you a wisdom and also can calm your mind at the same time. If you listen to music, you can become attached to music. And when you have no music to listen to, you might not be able to meditate. So don't use music if it's possible. If you want to listen to Dhamma talk, because Dhamma talk it's not addictive like music.
Next
Okay.
question from Hai Ing Il. Ajahn, does the Buddha encourage the pursuit of wealth for lay Buddhists? Is the pursuit of wealth a form of greed?
If you pursue wealth for the sake of livelihood, for maintaining your life, this is all right. It's not considered greed. But anything more than that, it will be considered to be greed.
And next question from Po Liang Soon. How long time after people die, the mind searching the new body, and how this be managed?
It search all the time, but it is subjected to the good and bad karma that it has to bear upon first, until the forces of the good or bad karma become neutralized. Then the mind will then be free to go and connect to a new body.
Next question from Mass Drusen. Dear Ajahn, is it okay to crave being a monk and want to be with the Sangkhan?
Yes, this is good craving. It's not considered to be defilement. The desire to ordain, the desire to practice, this is good craving, good desire.
Next question from Ludi Pen. Ajahn, how to develop ubekha in daily life?
Just keep reciting a mantra. When you see something you don't like, just recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then you can stop your mind from reacting to what you don't like or what you like.
Next question from Winston Go. Can a layman become a stream enterer by only seeing impermanent?
Had to see the five khandha as being impermanent, as being anatta, as being suffering.
Next question from Patsy Chu. ท่านอาจารย์ may I ask what the 8%, the 4 pairs, placed by those at peace, deserve offering in Ratana Sutta refer to? Sadhu.
These are the 4 pairs of noble disciples. The Sotapanna is made up of 2 parts, the path and the fruits. See, before you can become a Sotapanna, you have to walk the path of a Sotapanna first. When you meditate, when you contemplate on the impermanent nature, anatta nature of the 5 khandha, you are walking the path of a Sotapanna. And when you finally get rid of your attachment to the 5 khandhas, then you reap the fruit of your practice. So you become a Sotapanna. This is 1 pair. Same way with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th level of enlightenment. They come in pairs. First, you have to walk the path to get to the result. You have to practice. You have to develop wisdom for each path, for each level, for you to become enlightened. So when you're developing the path, you are considered to be one of the noble person already.
Next question from Po Liang Soon. I am from Penang, Malaysia. When after mind is very mindfulness until no breath is filled, so by this state jhana, we must get out from meditate and contemplate vipassana, right?
No, you want to stay in jhana for as long as possible. Don't do any contemplation. You can do it after you come out of jhana. You cannot do it in jhana because jhana will stop you from thinking. See? If you can still think, that means you're not in jhana yet.
Next question from R. Seng. Ajahn, being present moment with breathing or awareness of sensation on body is mindfulness.
Yes.
Next question from Benz. As my understanding, Samadhi have 3 states and Jhana have 4 states. What is the difference between Samadhi and Jhana and Vipassana?
Well, Samadhi is a general term for the mind being calm, being still. And jhana are the different level of stillness of the mind. See? First jhana, second, third, and fourth. The higher you go, the more calm the mind becomes until you reach the 8th jhana. That's when the mind becomes very calm. These are the jhanas. And samadhi can be of 3 types. See? Kanika, Appana, and Upajjara samadhi. Kanika and Appana are jhanas, are samadhi. Kanika and Appana differs in the duration of the jhana. If you enter into jhana briefly, it's called Kanika. If you enter into jhana for a long period, it's called Appana samadhi. The third type of samadhi is called Upajjara samadhi. This third type is the type that enables you to connect to the spiritual beings. You can connect to the devas, the preta, the noble ones even. Like Ajahn, he has this ability to enter into Upajjara samadhi. And he said he had past Buddhas and past Arahant came to teach him the Dhamma. Okay.
Yes. Last question from R. Seng. During Anapanasati, as I am doing it, the body feels very light, as if it is floating. But I clearly know I am seated on the ground. Why is that so, Prajahn?
Because when your mind becomes calm, you feel lighter. That's all. So you might feel like your body is floating up. Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anybody else would like to ask any question? Please go ahead. Just raise your hand.
We have a new coming, Lino.
Okay.
Yeah, Lino.
Hello, Ajahn. Thank you very much. No questions for me today, just listening.
Where are you from, Lino or Lino?
My name is Lino. I'm from North Carolina, Greensboro.
Okay. Welcome to our meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
It was most informative.
All right, good.
I look forward to hearing you speak again sometime, Ajahn.
Yes, I think we have this Zoom meeting every Tuesday night, Thailand time, about 8 p.m.
I'll try and come up with some good questions before then.
All right, good. Nice talking to you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right.
Nice talking to you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Anybody else want to ask any question? Please, okay. Kun La.
One more question from R. Seng. Ajahn, what is difference between mindfulness and jhana?
Mindfulness is the one that will make the mind enter into jhana. Mindfulness is the controller of the mind, prevent the mind from thinking. Once the mind stops thinking, then it enters into jhana.
That's all,ท่านอาจารย์.
Anybody would like to ask any more questions? You are welcome to do so by raise your hand and unmute the microphone. Looks like nobody, huh? Okay. We have spent about 2 hours and 50 minutes in this meeting. So maybe I think it's about time for us to part company, to stop our meeting for today. So I'd like to wish you good health, happiness, and mindfulness. Hope you will advance more in your practice and hopefully we'll meet again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุ
Thank you.
Thank you, Sadhu.
ที่ท่านอาจารย์
Sadhu.
you แอดมินพี่บอยที่หลัง
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone
Sadhu.
bye everyone
Thank you คุณแอดมิน thank you คุณลา
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye
bye
Goodbye.
bye bye